Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Good afternoon. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together, we are Backyard Musings, Apple Valley, California, People's Republic of California.
Yep, and we have a good one today. It's about we're talking about the ocean, and
Yeah, really cool.
This is some weird stuff. It didn't happen here close by, but it could have.
Yep.
So, and we kind of touched on this stuff before, right? Where the ocean is just kind of a dumping ground, but this is a good one.
Yep. Marine life is unexpectedly flourishing on discarded World War II munitions in the Baltic Sea. A new study was found that World War II munitions lying on the seabed of the Baltic Sea host far more marine life than the surrounding sediment. The research, published in Communications, Earth and Environment on September 25th, 2025, reveals that certain marine organisms can survive in areas with high levels of toxic compounds as long as they have solid surfaces from which to attach. Would you like to know more?
So we have a nephew that served his mission in the Baltics.
Oh.
Russian speaking, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Russian speaking, but yeah, it was a good mission. The findings also highlight how remnants of human conflict can unintentionally create habitats for wildlife, a pattern also documented in a scientific data study that mapped World War I shipwrecks in Maryland, USA. Before the 1972 London Convention on the Prevention of Marine Pollution was established, it was common practice to dispose of unused explosives by dumping them at sea. While these discarded weapons contained chemicals that are extremely harmful to marine life, their sturdy metal shells may simultaneously provide an appealing surface for organisms to grow on.
Okay, here's a question. What is World War I shipwrecks doing in Maryland?
That's a good question. Maybe they drug them in and scuttled them.
Oh yeah, scuttle. Okay.
Maybe they retrieved them or something, and then they just scuttled them in the bay. I don't know why they would. I mean, that you'd think that the way our do-gooders and EPA and all that kind of stuff, you'd think that they would have got those things out of there, but I don't know.
No, they didn't have that back then.
EPA?
Yeah, not during World War II.
Well, yeah, yeah. But I mean now though, you think they would have gathered them all up and pulled them out of there. So
yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah, kind of the military, right? That's the military's attitude.
Andrei Vedinin and colleagues used a remotely controlled submersible to investigate a newly discovered munitions dump site in Lubick Bay in the Baltic Sea in October 2024. They filmed the munitions and analyzed water samples collected from the site and also investigated 2 areas of the surrounding sediment for comparison.
Okay, this is where it kind of gets a little odd. So the authors identified the discarded munitions as warheads from V-1 flying bombs, which that sounds kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
A type of early cruise missile used by Nazi Germany, not to be confused with Nazi America. Threw that in, did you?
I did.
In late World War II. They found that there was significantly more marine life present on the munitions than the sediment. Interesting. An average of around 43,000 organisms per square meter. That's a lot, compared to around 8,200 organisms per square meter. Similar magnitudes of marine life abundance have been recorded on natural hard surfaces in the bay in other studies.
The concentrations of explosive compounds, mostly TNT and RDX, in the water varied widely from as little as 30 nanograms per liter to as much as 2.7 milligrams per liter, a level estimated to be potentially fatally toxic to marine life. The author suggests that compared to the surrounding sediment, the advantages of living on the hard surfaces of the munitions outweigh the disadvantages of the chemical exposure.
They note that organisms were mainly observed on casings rather than uncovered explosive material, and speculate that this may have reflected life forms trying to limit their chemical exposure. However, the authors conclude that although the munitions are currently an important habitat in the bay, replacing them with a safe artificial surface would further benefit the local ecosystem. Okay.
In a separate study published in Scientific Data, David Johnston and colleagues present a high-res photographic map of all 147 wrecks currently in the so-called Ghost Fleet of Mallows Bay on the Potomac River, Maryland.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the Ghost Fleet. These ships were built during World War I, but were deliberately burnt and sunk in the late 1920s, and their wrecks are now known as a habitat for a wide variety of wildlife, such as ospreys, which the scientific name is Pandion haliatus, and Atlantic sturgeon, Accipenser oxyrhynchus. The authors created the map by combining high-res photographs on an average of 3.5 centimeters per pixel of the entire fleet, taken using aerial drones in 2016. They suggest that the map may be useful for future archaeological, ecological, and cultural research into the fleet.
I wonder if people are allowed to scuba dive. Check that out.
I wonder how shallow it is. I mean, if it's, usually amateurs are only going down no more than 100 feet. It's the real dedicated ones that are more than 100 feet.
Okay, well,
you got to know what you're doing.
I'm not familiar with the Potomac River. I mean, I know what the Potomac River is, but I don't know how deep it is. So, but that's it's not that big a river, right? I mean, it's not like the Mississippi. It's not that big. So I don't know. Maybe so. Let us know if you've scuba dived in the Potomac River in the Ghost Fleet Mallows Bay. Okay.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.